Welcome back. Today we will be discussing another demo, Worthy Worries. Worthy Worries is a bit different than the rest of our songs. It was completely written and arranged by Brandon, our old guitarist, and it's very folk inspired. Very much unlike our usual grunge or shoegaze sound. In the Reaper session here, I've got a couple demos to show. So one demo is a cell phone recording from my own garage. Brandon had been playing the main riff from the verse of the song during downtime and practices, so we thought, why not try to make it a full band song? So we added drums, an acoustic guitar, and some lead guitar to the basic rhythm of the song, and we just tried to rehearse it out. Reminder, we were recording this in a garage with no monitoring, so none of us could hear ourselves over the sound of the drums and the guitar amps. So Brandon is just yelling in this song. So it's a rough demo.
Winner of despair. Oh yeah, I feel it. I went down the window, all from
So, as you heard, it's got a good spirit of a track. It just needs cleaned up. Wasn't rehearsed very well at that point. Now, if we just execute all those individual parts in a clean studio environment, I think it'll be a good song. We also can layer some vocals. Here, and you can see in the session, this is a later version of the song. Brandon and I worked on this track in the summer of 2020 during the COVID lockdown. This has some advantages to the other track and has some disadvantages. The main advantages that I see for this particular iteration is it's a lot smoother and more balanced frequency-wise, but it lacks the energy of that previous demo track. Oftentimes, what you always find in recording music is the more polished something is, the less spontaneous it is. You're always balancing between a polished, edited project and that sort of spontaneous, imperfect energy. Here is that track.
Of regret at all the things I hadn't done yet. I took the path less traveled black, felt within the long lag of the things I could never obtain.
So now that you've heard both in contrast, they're very different. I think it's important to remember the reason why you do pre-production and record demos is so you can listen to them and think more objectively about how you want to improve the song. So without doing these two demos, I would never know how to proceed with these songs because I don't know where I stand currently. So what I'm hearing in this song is I like the balance of the instruments more. It needs more energy in the chorus. The guitars need to be layered more appropriately, and there needs to be more contrast between the drums and the dynamics. As you can tell, this is just pinned. There's not a lot of room for dynamics, and that's something that I'm going to fix in pre-production. This track, more than the others, is probably going to be one of the easiest to finish, just because it already has such a strong bass set up that recording and preparing these tracks for mixing shouldn't be that difficult. I am going to seek out assistance from Brandon, however. If he's able and willing to help, I would love to have his assistance on this, because after all, this is his sound. Now that we've discussed the song, let's talk about the tarot card that's associated with this track. And that would be the Six of Pentacles, or in Wasteland terms, the One-Eyed Merchant. One-eyed because one eye is facing the viewer. I won't go into all the specifics, as I could make an entire video about this, but the One-Eyed Merchant, Mr. Eugenides, is referenced back to the drowned Phoenician sailor, and they're compared to be the same character. The One-Eyed Merchant carries the Hanged Man on his back, but the Hanged Man is hooded, and the clairvoyant Madame Sosostris cannot see him. Him carrying the Hanged Man on his back represents him carrying a vegetation mythology, and the onus of this track is to talk about worthy worries, things that are worthy of your attention. And the dual nature of Mr. Eugenides and the One-Eyed Merchant about giving but also carrying responsibility is sort of the central theme of this song. I can go into much greater depth on this in this track's pre-production later on. Now that we've talked about the inspiration for the track, let's go to the song chart. These lyrics were all written by Brandon. These are the original lyrics. These will most likely be modified with his input and also for the thematic motifs of the album. They're pretty vague. They just kind of are a nice melody to sing along with. He managed to fit the word augur in because one of the culminating moments on this song is the last chorus and the repeating phrase, nothing to gain. There's a great song by a band named Yob. It's called Nothing to Win. And I think this phrase encapsulates the onus of worthy worries, which is we're always trying to seek out to gain and obtain and always grasping at glory, at riches, when we should be placing our worth and our mind's energies into things that are very much worthwhile. Philosophy and spiritualism and wholesomeness for our children and for our future. And I think this is just a great phrase. We're planning on layering this with other vocals in the ending to make it a very large sort of like crescendo. All right, that wraps up the review for Worthy Worries demos. The next time you'll be seeing this song is most likely when I'm doing the pre-production for the final arrangement. So until then, I'll see you on the next video. Thank you for your time.